Hi guys, so I'm finally making the long overdue labor and delivery story, and I'm really excited to make this video. I have no idea why it's taken me so long to make this video. I think it's because I never quite really know how to tell the story. My vaginal delivery of my twins was a beautiful experience, but at the same time it was dramatic and maybe even traumatizing for me, so I never quite really know how to tell the story. I am going to try to be as detailed as possible, but yet as brief as possible, because I don't want this video to be too long. If it's your first time on my channel, thank you so much for checking out my channel and watching my video. I hope you like it. If you do, please don't forget to subscribe or thumbs up this video. Okay, let's get into it. So I checked myself into hospital at 36 weeks to be induced. And I checked myself in, it was on a Monday, and they started the medication on Tuesday, and absolutely nothing happened until Saturday evening. I was so done. I was so tired at this point. I was so big. I felt so uncomfortable. I couldn't walk. I couldn't sit. I couldn't sleep. Like, I just wanted these babies out, and I just wanted to meet my girls, but they were not coming. So on Saturday evening, I was getting ready to go and have my last checkup of the day, and Tristan was just going to go home and come back the following day. And I was just chilled on the bed. It was around 7 p.m. and I just felt a pop and a gush, and I knew my water was broke. I was so excited because I knew it was finally happening. These girls were coming. So Tristan ran to get the midwife. And she came and she prepped me up, and they put me on a wheelchair and wheeled me to the delivery room. And once I got there, other midwives came and they checked the positions of the babies and if everything was okay with the babies. So if you want to have a vaginal delivery when you have twins, very important is that baby A should be head down, or the whole thing is just not going to happen. So luckily for me, baby A was head down. Loretta was, baby A was Leona, and Loretta, who was my baby B, she was still twisting and turning and doing whatever the hell she wanted, but it didn't matter because baby A was head down. So at this point, the midwife, she checked me and I was 4 centimeters dilated, and she told me that the anesthesiologist, the guy who does the epidural, was going to come shortly and give me the epidural, even though I had no contractions at all. But they just do this because anything can happen to any one of the babies at any point. They just want to be able to take you to the theater and get the babies out. So a few minutes later, like 15 minutes later, the guy came, and I was so afraid of the pain. I thought it would be painful. And so he told me to sit on the bed and to arc my back like that. And I was just there with my eyes closed, like just waiting for the pain to come. And then I just heard him say, "Okay, we're done." And I was like, what? Yeah. I didn't feel anything. It was painless. It was quick. And I am so grateful for I'm so grateful for that. And so yeah, he just told us you can do whatever you want, and we just chilled and relaxed. And at 8:45 the midwife came back again, and at this point I was 6 centimeters dilated, and she told me you should rest, try to sleep, get as much rest as you can. And I did just that. So Tristan made himself comfortable. There was a reclining chair which was really comfortable, and I was on the bed. We talked a little bit, we took photos, and we were so anxious to meet these girls, but we managed to rest a little bit. And at 2:30 a.m. The midwife came back again, and at this point I was 7 to 8 centimeters dilated, and she told me to rest. But I was just done, you know, and I could hear the other women in the other rooms screaming, having their babies, and I just thought, oh my god, I am next. It was a bit, you know, terrifying to hear these women, because you think, oh my god, what's gonna happen to me, and I have 2 babies to push out. So yeah, we decided to rest, and I was craving for a bag of chips. And I asked Tristan to find one in the hospital. You know, there are these vending machines on every floor, and he went through the whole hospital and he couldn't get any chips. So he came back and we just rested. At 4:10, the midwife came back, and I was 9 centimeters dilated, and she told me we were good to go. She just needed to find the doctor who was going to deliver the babies. I think he was delivering another baby at that time, but as soon as he was free, they came to my room, and he came with a whole crew of people. I think it was a lot of people. So each baby had their own midwife, and each baby had their own doctor, and there was an intern, and there was the head doctor, the one who delivered the babies, plus Tristan. So it was quite a lot of people, but anyway, it's better to have more people than less, right? So they prepped me up, and I basically had to start pushing. And the doctor told the intern guy to turn down the epidural so that I can feel my contractions and I can be able to push, because at this point I couldn't feel anything. I had to rely on the screen to see, you know, when the thing goes up, then I know I'm having a contraction, and then I push, but I couldn't really push. I couldn't feel how and where to push. And after like 10 minutes, the doctor was like, okay, we need to get this baby out, because it can be potentially dangerous to take so much time for the second baby. You know, they can run out of oxygen, or their heart, they can just be in distress. And he started to take out this equipment, like, if you don't push, you know, I'm going to have to use this, I don't know what it's called, you know, where they put it on the baby's head to basically pull the baby out, and I didn't want that to happen. So I really gave it my all and tried my best, and I pushed a couple of times, and Leona was out. Like, there's no words to describe this moment when you meet your first child for the first time. She cried instantly, and it's I can't explain it. It was just such a beautiful moment, and they cleaned her up and put her on my chest, and I could just, you know, feel her breathing on me. It's like you wait so long for this moment, and she was finally here. But you know, the weird thing is that now Loretta, who's still in my belly, had all this space, and she was just like, I could just see my stomach like bloop bloop. It's just crazy, just really crazy. So they gave me a 5-minute break to bond with Leona and just to meet my baby, and then they started to prep me up to push the second baby. So the doctor started to check, you know, the heartbeat, you know, everything that they check, and to see in which position she was and what needed to be done to get her to a position where I could start pushing. And at some point, you know, the doctor, he started to like manipulate my stomach, and I could feel some pain, and I thought, ouch. But it was not dramatic pain. So the doctor told the intern to turn back on the epidural, and I have no idea what this guy did, but he didn't turn on the epidural. Just, I was starting to be in pain at this point, and at some point I realized that something was going wrong, because the doctor just pushed the intern guy out of the way. You know, at first he was giving instructions like, check that, do this, do that, and at some point he just pushed the guy away, took over control of the, like, it's like a wand thing, I guess, where you, for him to be able to see what's really happening with the baby. And at this point I intercepted some eye contact between the doctor and the midwife, and I just saw people start to move quickly and swift movements, and I knew something was wrong. And the other midwife came to take the baby, Leona, off my chest, and I just thought, what is going on? But I guess they didn't want to say anything, because it's their job also to keep me calm and for me to be able to push the baby out. So at some point the midwife jumps onto the edge of my bed, and she presses my stomach really hard, I guess to block Loretta from being able to swim everywhere, and to keep her in one position while the doctor tries to twist her into a position where I can start pushing. It was so painful. I've never felt so much pain in my life. And I remember holding her hand, you know, trying to push her hand away because it was so painful. And she just gave me that look like, don't you dare, like, we need to get this baby out alive, don't you dare move my hand, let me do my job, and I let go and I took in all the pain. And they started to tell me to push. I tried to push. I couldn't breathe at this point. I was just in so much pain. I started to push, but I couldn't, I just didn't know what I was supposed to do. And Loretta ended up in a weird position. So now I have the midwife on top of me, pressing my stomach with all her strength to block the baby from going everywhere. And the doctor had to go in with his hands to twist Loretta and like fold her and pull her out. No epidural, guys. No epidural. I felt everything. I thought I was gonna die. Like, I didn't even think that this much pain is possible. But at some point they realized, you know, that something is wrong, and then they turned the epidural on. But I didn't care, you know, at this point you don't care. I just wanted my baby out, and I wanted her healthy. And the doctor finally got Loretta out, and she was fine, and she cried instantly. So they handed her over to one of the doctors who was there, and they checked her, and she was fine, and they cleaned her up, and then they put her on my chest. I remember just feeling relieved. Like, you know, at that moment I just thought, did I make a mistake to want to have this vaginal delivery? I should have just gone into the theater and just gotten them to operate me and bring these girls out safely and alive. But thank God I had competent people on my team. The doctors were great, the midwives were great, and everything went well, and I managed to meet my girls, and it was just an amazing experience after that. So now the epidural was on, and the guys, they forgot to switch it off. Like, seriously. So I laid there on that bed, and the epidural was still pumping in whatever it pumps into me, and I didn't feel anything. And after some time they cleaned me up, and they took me back to my room, and the girls were healthy. They were 2.2 kilos 80 heavy each, and they didn't need any special attention. They didn't need any treatment. I was wheeled over to my room with the girls, just, and you know, life together just started instantly. It was so amazing. And I always heard, you know, I always heard people saying, oh, you get contractions after you have the baby when the uterus shrinks back or whatever. So hours later, you know, I asked the nurse, like, when are the contractions going to come? You know, I've been told that you get contractions. And she was like, oh, that's already probably happened. I was just fully pumped with this epidural in the end that I missed those contractions, but I had gone through enough pain, so I was glad. So guys, that is my labor and delivery story, and the girls turned 2 in 3 months. Like, I can't believe time has gone by so fast, and that these girls, they talk, they, you know, it's just an amazing experience. And I love these 2 girls, and I don't ever want to leave out their dad, Tristan. He's such an amazing dad. He's there for them, he's there for us, and I just love the life I have, and I'm just so thankful for God for giving me such a loving and caring partner to go through this journey with, and for giving the girls such an amazing dad. He's like the best dad ever, and yeah, I'm just so happy. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you loved it, thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.